The richest people you've ever seen aren't rich because they discovered a secret hustle. They're rich because they learned a violent little rule the world hides in plain sight. Money either has a job or you do. And if your money is unemployed long enough, it will recruit you into a life of permanent obligation. Welcome to Money Animate. And if you want more stories that turn confusing money noise into clear leverage, subscribe now, quietly. Because what you're about to hear isn't hype. It's a blueprint for how wealth keeps reproducing while most people keep aging. Development begins with a definition that feels childish until it starts controlling your life. An asset puts money in your pocket, a liability takes money out, and your entire future is the scoreboard of which one you bought more often. Most people build a life like a pretty house on sand, one paycheck holding up a tower of monthly payments. Then they act surprised when a layoff, a rate hike, inflation, or a medical bill makes the whole thing tilt. The wealthy don't rely on hope, they rely on structure, and structure is made of assets. Asset number one is cash and cash equivalents, the least glamorous but most powerful kind of oxygen. Cash doesn't make you feel smart, it makes you fast. It buys you time when the job market turns cold. It lets you negotiate from a position of calm, and it lets you take opportunities that appear without warning. A distressed seller, a business that needs liquidity, a market dip that punishes the impatient. Most people keep cash only when they're afraid. The wealthy keep cash because they understand leverage. They also use cash strategically, keeping reserves while deploying the rest with intention. Because the point isn't to hoard, it's to stay liquid enough to strike when everyone else is trapped. Asset number two is income-producing real estate, not the fantasy version, the math version. Real estate becomes an asset when it pays you. Rent from a long-term tenant, a duplex where someone else subsidizes your mortgage, a small multifamily, storage units, parking income, land you can rent, even a short-term rental if you understand the workload and regulations. Appreciation can be a bonus over long time horizons, but cash flow is what keeps you alive. And here's the uncomfortable truth most Americans avoid. The home you live in is often a liability until it produces income, because it demands taxes, insurance, repairs, upgrades, and attention, while you call it equity to feel better about the drain. Asset number three is bonds and other high-quality fixed income, the quiet assets that trade excitement for stability. You lend money to a government or a solid business, they pay you interest, and you get principal back at maturity, generally with less volatility than stocks. In a world where interest rates whip markets around and headlines trigger panic, stability is not boring, it's strategic. Asset number four is stocks, which people treat like roulette because they confuse price with value. A stock is ownership in a business, not a rumor, not a meme, not a scrolling dopamine hit. Ownership. When you own productive companies for long enough, you harness compounding, and compounding is one of the few forces that doesn't care about your mood. The market can scream for weeks, but a good business still sells on Monday morning. Asset number five is diversified funds, like index funds and broad mutual funds, the humility asset. Most individuals can't beat professionals consistently, and trying often turns investing into emotional self-harm. Buying late, selling early, chasing narratives, freezing when the chart turns red. Broad diversification reduces the chances that one mistake ruins you, and it reduces the number of decisions you can sabotage with fear. This is educational, not financial advice, but behavior is the real battlefield, and diversified strategies often help people stay sane enough to stick with a long-term plan. Asset number six is equipment that increases earning power. The key word is increases. A laptop is an asset if it produces billable work. A camera is an asset if it produces content that produces revenue. A vehicle is an asset if it's directly tied to income, like deliveries, sales routes, or mobile services. The same object can be a liability if it exists mainly to impress strangers. The wealthy buy tools to multiply output and buy back time. Everyone else buys toys and calls them investments because admitting it was consumption would sting. Asset number seven is patents and defensible inventions, the toll booths on ideas. In a world where AI can remix surface-level content instantly, truly defensible innovation becomes even more valuable. If you own protected technology, a process, or a design others need, you can license it, partner, or build around it. Ownership of a protected advantage is power because it reduces competition, and reduced competition protects margins. Asset number eight is trademarks, the ownership of memory. Names, logos, phrases, and symbols are signals, and signals drive trust. A strong trademark can be licensed so other people do the selling while you collect a fee, which is what wealth loves most, getting paid without being physically present. Asset number nine is brand and goodwill, the invisible assets that make people pay more and stay longer. Brand is the story people tell themselves about what you represent. Goodwill is the emotional credit you earn from how you treat them. In the creator economy, brand can turn attention into revenue. In business, goodwill can protect you during mistakes that would destroy a weaker competitor. People pretend money is rational, then they buy the same product for more because a logo makes them feel something. Asset number 10 is people, and this is where the truth gets colder. Companies aren't buildings, they are organized human capability. The right person can change outcomes. The right team can build something competitors can't copy because they copy features, not chemistry. This matters more than ever because AI-driven disruption is repricing labor in real time, making some skills cheaper and making other skills priceless. If you want to become an asset yourself, aim for rarity. Skills hard to automate, hard to replace, and directly tied to revenue, risk reduction, or growth. Asset number 11 is commodities and raw materials, the engine room of the economy. Energy, metals, agriculture, industrial inputs. These markets are cyclical and ruthless. They reward knowledge and punish fantasy. The wealthy often use commodities to diversify, hedge inflation, or exploit supply-demand imbalances, while amateurs chase stories and learn too late that volatility isn't entertainment when it's your mortgage. Asset number 12 is alternative assets like art, collectibles, rare watches, vintage cars, and other scarcity markets, but only when approached with expertise and patience. These assets can appreciate, but they can also be illiquid, hard to price, and expensive to store and insure. The wealthy can play here because they can afford to hold through long stretches, and they have networks that create liquidity when it's time to sell. Most people should treat these markets like deep water, beautiful, dangerous, and unimpressed by confidence. Asset number 13 is scalable information products, books, software, templates, digital courses, licensing kits, content libraries. This category is powerful because you build once and sell repeatedly, converting past labor into future revenue. The lie is passive income with no effort. The truth is effort upfront, systems later. Done ethically, information products deliver real value at scale. Done dishonestly, they become scams. And scams don't just violate trust, they invite platform bans and legal consequences. Asset number 14 is royalties, the cleanest form of ownership. Royalties mean you get paid when something you own gets used. Music, writing, licensing, patents, trademarks, franchise fees, certain content deals. Royalties convert yesterday into tomorrow. They reveal a harsh truth. The world often pays you more for what you own than for what you do. Asset number 15 is unique rights and proprietary business models. Licenses, exclusive contracts, regulatory permissions, distribution advantages, network effects, subscriptions, marketplaces, platforms. Systems that trap demand inside a structure you control. Fortunes often hide here, not in the product, but in the model that controls access to customers. Competitors can copy your features and still lose if they can't copy their structure. Now the climax, because this is where the list stops being interesting and starts being personal. Picture the email that looks polite but feels like a trap. Important update. The company is restructuring. AI is optimizing workflows. Your role is impacted. In one sentence, your identity, your schedule, your health insurance, and your income all wobble. If your life is built on one paycheck and a pile of liabilities disguised as lifestyle, that email doesn't just threaten money, it threatens oxygen. This is when assets reveal their real purpose. Assets aren't just how you get rich. Assets are how you stay free when fear tries to buy your obedience. Cash reserves mean you don't accept the first desperate offer. Diversification means you don't liquidate at the bottom just to survive. Income-producing real estate or a business means your bills aren't fully dependent on one boss's mood. Equipment and rare skills mean you can earn outside a single gatekeeper. Intellectual property means your past work can keep paying while you rebuild. Brand and goodwill mean doors open faster when your title disappears. People, your network, collaborators, mentors, become the bridge to your next chapter. The wealthy aren't calm because they're braver. They're calm because they're buffered. And buffer is a financial asset disguised as peace. Conclusion lands with a truth that's simple and haunting. Wealth is stored choice. Every asset you buy is a future yes. Every liability you buy is a future no. That's why two people with the same income can end up living in different universes. One buys relief on credit, upgrades to soothe stress, and calls it deserved, while interest quietly tightens the leash. The other builds margin, controls fixed costs, invests consistently, learns skills that pay, and uses time like a weapon. The difference isn't intelligence, it's discipline aimed at ownership. And here's the bonus idea that stitches everything together. Time, money, time. Phase 1 is trading your time for money. Almost everyone starts there. Phase 2 is using that money to buy assets or buy help, converting money into other people's time so you can scale beyond your own hours. That's what a business is in its pure form. Organized time arbitrage. If you can pay for an hour and that hour produces more value than it costs, the difference becomes profit, and profit becomes fuel for more assets. Phase 3 is when assets buy back your time, and you reinvest that time into building better assets. That loop is compounding in human form. Lesson, carve down to something you can carry. Stop worshiping income and start respecting ownership. Income pays your month. Ownership buys your future. The world doesn't divide people into lucky and unlucky. It divides them into those who build assets and those who buy distractions. And distractions are the most expensive thing you'll ever finance. If this sharpened the way you see money, like the video. Share it with someone who keeps confusing liabilities for rewards. And subscribe to Money Animate, because the next story is about building a portfolio of leverage that can survive inflation, layoffs, and your own impulses.